Hey everybody, how's it going? Welcome along to another live watch along on the Chronicles of a Gooner YouTube channel. It's Arsenal versus AC Milan in the Dubai Super Cup. The game takes place in the Al Maktoum Stadium, and we're going to be keeping you right across this one. Very much looking forward to seeing the Arsenal back in action as the return of Premier League football edges closer. And some really big team news today, actually. A couple of players included that I didn't really expect would be included, if I'm being honest. Ben White and Thomas Partey, both in the starting lineup for Arsenal. Now, we know that they're back. We knew that they were back a few days ago. But I must admit, I didn't see them both starting today's game, which is obviously good news. Look, especially in Thomas Partey's case, obviously Ben White had a personal issue to go off and deal with. But Thomas Partey, you know, he was fit. He was playing at the World Cup. He was playing quite well at the World Cup. He's gone away. He's had a few days. He's now come back, and he's ready to go, and he's in the side. And it's really important now, isn't it, with the Premier League just a couple of weeks away from its return, that we start to fine-tune some of those players, that we start to get people back at the level that we were at, I guess, pre the World Cup. We'll take you through the entire team in just a moment, but I want to say a few hellos to people in the live chat alongside me. Big hello to Henry, who says, good afternoon, H. Keep up your top drawer work. Come on, you Gunners. Matt says, hello all, Vamos Gunners. Creambone says, afternoon, Harold, my good sir. Afternoon, mate. How are you? Hope you're well. Big hello to Moss as well, who says, let's go and get this Dubai Cup. What a prestigious tournament this is. We really have to win it, don't we? It'll be amazing. I'm just kidding. I don't care. As long as everyone's fit and as long as everyone comes through these games unscathed, then that's good enough for me. Big hello to Heisenberg, who says, hello, Harry. Love your vids. What's your opinion of this? England plays 5 games at this World Cup, and on all 5 occasions, exactly 3 black players started. Do you think coincidence or something suspicious? I don't think there's anything in that, mate. You know, I think that what Gareth Southgate's done is so much in terms of creating that positivity around the England squad and within the changing room. Maybe there were divides in the past, and I'm not saying that because I know that, but you know, I know that I guess you feel that to have sort of raised that issue. But I think Gareth Southgate's been a breath of fresh air in that sense. I think everyone feels included, everyone feels loved. Obviously, the racial abuse that was suffered by our very own Bukayo Saka after the European Championships was totally unacceptable. But I like to think that that's a minority of idiots rather than the majority feeling, because you can see, based on his performances at this World Cup and on the credit that he's been getting, that Bukayo Saka is very, very much loved. Big hello to Gustavo. Baguma says, don't worry, guys. Once Harry finishes the snowman, he will come. I did make a snowman yesterday with my son. It took us ages. He kept wrecking the good bits that I was doing. And then in the end, after we finally finished it, got him to take a picture with it, and then he decided to kick it and knock it all down. Destructo child. But anyway, big hello to Zachary, to Baguma, to Kin, to Ollie, to Chima, to Matt G, to Naples Gunner, and to Gustavo, who says, first time catching you live, driving to work. You the man. Thank you so much, mate, and welcome. Always good to have you guys alongside me on a live stream, especially for a watch along. We don't do these all that often, and the reason we don't do them is because, you know, when it comes to Premier League games, you know, I'm often working and at the games, and it's not as easy to get them done. But what these pre-season friendlies do, and I say pre-season, it's a mid-pre-season friendly, what they do is they give us an opportunity to do these, and they give us an opportunity to have conversations about the Arsenal and the relevant topics while we're watching these games, because, you know, you're not as invested in these as you are when you're watching Arsenal in the Premier League, for example. There isn't as much pressure. In fact, there's no pressure to get a result. It's all about performance. It's all about getting people up to speed and up to scratch. And I like to take this opportunity to obviously watch the game with you guys in your company, and at the same time, you know, discuss some of the players on show and various other bits and pieces. Okay, let's take you through the team news then. Let me just bring it up on my screen. Bear with me a second. I should have spent more time preparing today. I should have had this all to hand, but I've had one of those weird days today where everything has been a bit of a rush, and I've sat down to do this, and I'm actually looking forward to just kind of chilling out and watching a game of football now. But in goal continues Carl Hein. Obviously had a very good game against Lyon last time out, and obviously in what was probably the worst penalty shootout in the history of penalty shootouts, managed to save 4 penalties, I think it was. Ben White returns to the starting lineup, and he plays at right back. Holding, Gabriel and Tierney make up the rest of the back four as expected. Thomas Partey comes back in his number 6 role, with Lokonga and Odegaard playing either side of him as the 2 8s. Fabio Vieira will play from the right, we assume. From the left, it will be Reiss Nelson, and through the middle, Eddie Nketiah, looking to build further on the confidence gained in that recent performance against Lyon, as he prepares to step into the first team proper and take on the mantle of Gabi Jesus. So yeah, that's the starting lineup. On the bench, we've got Grashik, the goalkeeper, Foran, Cedric, Sosa, Walters, Elneny, Chirian, Smith, Lewis Skelly, Waneri, Kozia Dubry, Sego Jr., Marquinhos, and Butler Oyedeji. So yeah, we should get a glimpse and a look at some of that young talent, I'm sure, a little bit later on in the game. You know, I don't expect Thomas Partey and Ben White especially to play a very long time this afternoon. We'll obviously see how that pans out. Their fitness levels will be different, I think, to those that are, of course, you know, that have been with the camp all along, and those that haven't been to the World Cup. They needed a bit of a break, a little bit of a pause, those guys. I think they're going to get that. Well, they did have that, but now they're back, and now they need to be fine-tuned ahead of the resumption of the Premier League, because they are 2 very, very important players for us. Very, very important players. Big hello to everybody who's joining us a little bit late. Hope you're good. Welcome along to the show. Great to see you guys. If I could ask, please do leave a like on the video. It really, really does help. Subscribe to the channel as well if you're new. We're about 130, 140 away from that 25,000 milestone that we are desperate to get to by Christmas. So please help push us towards that target. Just watching the highlights now of that Arsenal win in Milan. Adebayor scoring after Cesc Fabregas got the first. Good memories when Arsenal were in the Champions League playing against the European big boys. That was all the days, eh? Hopefully those days return in the not too distant future. Matt G in the comments says, I'm surprised Partey and White are starting. Me too. You know, me too, because as I say, you know, they've had a little bit of a break. I thought that they'd be given a little bit longer. You know, and we know that they returned to training. We saw that just the other day. We saw images of both of them in training. But what I didn't expect was them to be thrown in at the start of a match. But obviously, Mikel Arteta recognises how important it is that Arsenal get back to where they left off, that Arsenal pick up from where they left off, and that Arsenal don't, you know, lose ground when the season returns. Of course, we're upset with the injury suffered by Gabi Jesus. Of course, it weakens us. But to have the majority of the team available on Boxing Day, which it looks as though, fingers crossed, everything's going to be all right, you know, is obviously a huge positive. Matt says, Harry, will you have a clock so we can sync you up with our streams? I don't, mate. Basically, for the people that care about this stuff, I'll explain to you why I don't have it, because there is a reason. So I've got 2 computers, right? I've got a laptop that I use for work, and I've got a computer at home which I use to stream, because it's got the wired connection, and the cameras are all plugged into it, and the microphone is all plugged into it. But the inbuilt computer is a little bit out of date now. It needs upgrading, it needs changing, and the problem I've got is that I can't download the newest version of OBS, and because I can't download the newest version of OBS, I can't get the clock to embed anymore into the stream, which I used to be able to do. But as an update happened and things changed, it basically messed it up. So it is something I'm aware of, and if I did watch-alongs every week, believe me, I'd fix it. But you know, it is something that's on my radar. We'll get there eventually. We'll get it done sooner rather than later. But I will give you updates. Just give me a nudge in the chat if you want one, and I'll give you the exact minute and second that I'm on at that point. So the teams are out at the Al Maktoum Stadium. For those asking where you can watch the game, it is available to stream on the Arsenal website. You need to purchase a match pass, and if you do that, then of course you will be allowed in through your membership to view this game. Arsenal providing all the production, all the commentary. I love the in-house stuff. It's good to see. And the players are meeting in the middle, the 2 captains. Ante Rebic Where's the captain's armband for Milan? Martin Odegaard. Ready for Arsenal. Do you know what? Shall I try and find the Milan team? I haven't shared that with you yet, have I? Let's have a quick look. 1 second, 1 second, 1 second. Here we go. Tatarusanu in goal. Adli, Tonali, Rebic, Kalulu, Tomori, Origi, Pobega, Vranks, Gabia and Alexis Salamakers are the starting lineup for Milan. Of course, Stefano Pioli is the coach. Milan, the current Serie A champions, after Stefano Pioli led them to glory last season. They might not win it again this season, though. They did have a few difficulties at the start of the campaign. They're not a million miles behind Napoli, but Napoli are looking good. They're looking good. They really, really are. Mikel Arteta looking very relaxed, sitting in his dugout. Kickoff is just around the corner. Arsenal against AC Milan in the Dubai Super Cup from the Al Maktoum Stadium, and we're keeping you across it and taking you right through the entire 90 minutes here on the Chronicles of a Gooner YouTube channel. Don't forget to leave a like. Don't forget to subscribe if you haven't done so already. And don't forget to get involved in the comments. We want to hear from you. We want to hear your thoughts on the game. We want to hear your takes. On the Milan bench, it's Mirante, Ljungdahl, Benasser, Diaz, Lazetic. The graphics gone. There we go. That was way too quick. I was rushing as well. Unbelievable. Unbelievable. But anyway, Arsenal going to kick us off. Arsenal wearing their home strip. Red shirts, white sleeves, white shorts and red socks. The referee blows his whistle and we're underway. It's Arsenal who kick us off. Long ball forward. Partey picks it up in midfield, finds Tierney. Exchanges a couple of passes with Reiss Nelson. I'm on 13 seconds. There you go. Here's Nelson. Into Lokonga. Now holding at centre-back. 25 seconds in. Nice turn that from Nelson, who was looking to wriggle free from the defender, but Milan get a toe in and they clear it all the way to Karl Hein in the Arsenal goal. He'll roll it short to Rob Holding. Back to the goalkeeper. Looked really composed on the ball against Lyon. Karl Hein, he was a bit panicky in the game against Brighton in the Carabao Cup. But I saw some encouraging signs against Lyon. You know, obviously their press wasn't as aggressive. It was a friendly match and, you know, it's very, very different. But, yeah, I thought he looked better in that department. And that's obviously something that we want to see from him as Milan have a throw-in on the right-hand side. Arsenal win it back, though, through Nelson on the left. Looks to take on a couple of Milan players. Plays a ball down the line. Eddie and Nketiah are just drifted outside. Do you know what? Someone said buy a digital clock. Do you know what? I do have one. Does it work? Hold on. I remember I bought this ages ago, man. Does it? Oh, hold on. We might be able to get this to work. 1 minute. Hold on a second. Let me see if I can get this to work. If I can get this to work, you are a legend, Baguma, because I did have this, but I forgot all about it. Hold on a second. Let me sync this up 1 sec. No, shit. That's not what I wanted. That's not what I wanted. That is not what I wanted at all. Hold on. Let me turn it on and off again. Because when I set it, it starts to count down, and that's not what I want. Right? I want it to count up so that you can sync it with the clocks that you've got. What I'll do is I'll sync it when it gets to like 5 minutes or something, and you'll just know that you're 5 minutes off, basically. Yeah, we'll do that. We'll do something like that. As Nketiah knocks the ball into Reiss Nelson. Can he make something happen? Kieran Tierney just shepherds the ball out of play, wins Arsenal a throw-in. Here is Rob Holding. Just trying to think where I'm going to put this bloody clock now, but yeah. As Ben White plays a ball back to Karl Hein in the Arsenal goal. Welcome to everybody who's joining us on the live stream. Hope you're good, hope you're well. Thank you for tuning in. Here is Hein into Partey, who just dropped into that hole to receive the ball under pressure but finds Ben White to the right. Here's pass into midfield for Nketiah, who dropped deep there. Gabia commits a foul. Arsenal play on as Odegaard opens up his body and sends a left-footed ball across the pitch to Tierney. He lays it off to Gabriel, who will send one down the line. Arsenal looking to make something of this as Lokonga drifts forward down the left-hand side. Looks to hold off a challenge and looked as though he skipped away from the defender there. He did really, really well, Sambi Lokonga. Did he get a free kick? He should have got a free kick. Is he going to get one? That's the question, because he knocks the ball past the defender, who literally just pushes him, shoves him down to the ground. There's no question about that in my mind. It's a free kick, and it's an opportunity for Arsenal from the left-hand side to work it into the box. Reece Nelson's delivery in, flicked on at the near post. Holding tried to get something on it, comes to Odegaard. Shot deflects out to the right flank for Vieira, who will just let it run. And it means Arsenal have a corner. When we get to 5 minutes, I will start this clock, and you just know that you're 5 minutes behind, right? That makes sense? And then in the second half, we'll do it properly. But I do need to find somewhere to put it. And I don't know where I'm going to put it. Shall I just hold it like this or something? Odegaard's delivery into the penalty area. Keeper gets a hand to it. Tatarusanu comes out to Tierney. Plays it left to Nelson. He's just to the left of the penalty area. Matt Tomo says the Milan kits are not great. Yeah, they blend into the pitch. It's a bloody nightmare. Awful stuff. Here's Carl Hein in the Arsenal goal. Just shifting out of his feet and sends a long diagonal ball out. There's a bigger crowd in for this one than there was for the game against Lyon. There's no question about that in my mind. Here we go. So I've synced it now, okay, with 5 minutes. But where can I put this for you guys to be able to see it? That is the question now. Should I just sit on my shoulder or something? Should have thought about this as Milan work the ball into the penalty area. Hold on. Maybe I can do something creative here. I've got this stand. Can this do anything? 1 second. See what we can do. See if we can make this work. Always organised me, you know. Milan have a free kick from the right-hand side. It's about midway inside the Arsenal half, so it's an opportunity for them to work it into the penalty area. Can you see that? Can you not? Let me have a look on my monitor. Hold on. No, you can't, can you? I have to raise it up a bit. 1 minute. I'll do it in a sec. After this free kick delivery into the box, and there was Gabriel. Got a head to it. Vieira takes it on the chest and then clears. Milan will come again, though, and Ben White has to step in. Just guides it back to Carl Hein, whose clearance is out towards the right-hand side. I'll tell you what I'm going to do. I'm going to make this work. I'm going to bloody make this work. If we put these books here, then we could potentially raise this up that little bit higher. It's that little bit higher that it needs to be for you guys to see it, hopefully. Oh. No way. No way. I just reset. Oh, God. All right, we're going to start from 7 minutes. Oh, man. Absolute nightmare. Having an absolute nightmare here. Gaffer tape it to the screen, bro. Sai says, have you got an elastic band? Not to hand, mate. You know what? When we get to 10 minutes, we'll do it. Because I knocked the clock and it's reset its bloody self now. So the timing is well out. And when you set a time on this clock, it just messes up. Hold on. But can you see this is the question. That's what matters. Hold on a minute. Is that visible? Don't know that it is. Nope, still not bloody visible, is it? How high does it need to go for you to see it? It needs to go up here. Bloody hell. Do you know what, guys? I will sort it out at half time. I'm sorry, man. I'm sorry. It's a bloody shit show. Big welcome to everybody joining us a little bit later on in the stream. Hope you're all good. Quest for the best says, Harry, if you keep your head still, we can watch the match. It's from the reflection in your glasses. I'll be breaching copyright. Not allowed. Ben White has it on the halfway line for the Gunners. Finds Gabriel. Partey. First time ball was intended for Hein, and Gabriel just had to jump over it and let it run. Tierney's giving it away now. And Milan come forward down the right-hand side. Can they make something of this? 8 minutes and 20 seconds on the clock. Here come the Italian champions out to the left-hand side. They work it. Delivery into the box from deep. Gabriel just lets it run. Tierney will happily watch it go out of play for an Arsenal throw-in in the left-back position. Greenbone says, call your Mrs. H. Surely there's something in the wedding vows about holding clocks. My missus is actually getting her hair done at the moment by a hairdresser. And yeah. There's no chance that I'm gonna get her away from that at this moment in time. Here is Lokonga into Odegaard, tidy touch into Partey. Nice work to spread the play out to this right-hand side. Ben White, a tanned Ben White, turns on the burners down this right-hand side, but he does just lose control of the ball, and it goes out of play for a Milan throw-in at left-back. Here's Tatarusanu, the Milan goalkeeper. Eddie Nketiah closing people down. Glenn Goldsworthy says, Harry, how is Eddie's movement in the early stages? He's worked really hard. He's worked really, really hard. He's trying to hold the ball up when it gets to him. He's trying to bring others into the game. As I said on the watch-along that we did, when did we do it? The Lyon game. When was that? Thursday? Was it Thursday? If you watched that game back, or if you did watch that game back, I said when we were doing the stream that I felt there were a lot of things that Eddie Nketiah was doing that were things that I'm not saying he can't do, but things that you don't often see him do. I feel like there's been a lot of work done with Eddie on the training ground during this period to try and get him up to, you're not going to get him up to the level of Gabby Jesus, but you're going to get him to a point where he understands the role and understands the elements of it that Gabriel Jesus brings to the table. Oh, and Milan hit the crossbar. That's a stunning effort. Stunning effort from Origi. He took the ball. I'll come back to what I was saying in a minute, but he took the ball on the edge of the penalty area. Lovely little flick to escape the attentions of Rob Holding. He opened up his body and tried to bend one into the top corner. Karl Hein was nowhere near it, and it come off the angle of the crossbar and the post. Really good effort that from Divock Origi, and Milan should probably be in front. For those joining us late, just quickly, the Arsenal lineup is Karl Hein in goal. It's a back four of White, Holding, Gabriel on Tierney. Hold on a minute, Arsenal coming forward. Lokonga, Partey and Odegaard in midfield, and the forward line is made up of Reece Nelson, Fabio Vieira and Eddie Nketiah. There you go. Yeah, as I was saying about Nketiah, sorry, I digressed, but I think you're seeing the benefit of him getting quite a bit of one-on-one coaching. And, as I said before as well, although this is a big blow to Arsenal, you don't want to lose Thomas Partey. You don't want to be without a player of that quality. What we have is an opportunity to prepare for his absence. And what I mean by that is this wasn't he went out on Thursday night to play a Europa League game, picked up an injury and is now unavailable on Sunday. We've known for quite a while now, and we still have another couple of weeks before the Premier League returns to make sure that we get Eddie Nketiah understanding exactly what his role now entails. And if there's a lot of work done, with video and with coaching, you can show him and you can guide him in the right direction, and you can highlight to him what it is that Jesus brings to the side and try and mould his game slightly to that. Now, you can't get the same results exactly. You won't get that from two different players, but what you can do is try and educate him as much as possible around what it is that Jesus was bringing to the team, and then hopefully he can bring some of that to his game as well, which is already pretty good. He's had a lot of stick over the last couple of weeks since this news, broke, and it wasn't even a couple of weeks, was it? A week and a half, whatever it's been. But I think a lot of people have been very unfair in their appraisals of Eddie Nketiah, and I really want him to go out there now and just prove a point. As Milan have a corner from the left, can they make something of this? Whipped into the penalty area. Nelson got something on it. It comes down at the far post, headed back into the box by Origi. Still alive here. I think it was Salamakers on the turn. who tried to find the target, left-footed. It was wide. Beg your pardon, it was Pobega. Did it take a deflection on its way through? We'll get another look at it now. He took the shot on the turn. Yep, it come off of Thomas Partey. And so it will be a Milan corner once again. We're on 13 minutes and 27 seconds for those wanting to sync up. Milan corner from the left-hand side. Delivered into the box. Dealt with at the near post by Eddie Nketiah. He went to head it. He missed it. And it ricocheted off of his body and out of play for another Milan corner. Guys, we've got 180 of you with us right now, which is amazing. Thank you so much. If I could please ask, could you, if you don't mind, hit the like button. Let's try and get up to as close to 100 likes as we possibly can. It really, really does help. It gets more eyes on the stream. It gets more eyes on the channel. And if you're new, of course, make sure that you are subscribed. Arsenal concede another corner after that ball was whipped in towards the far post, and Rob Holding had to deal with it. Also, for those of you wanting to join the Chronicles of a Gooner Premium, if you'd like to support the channel, like to support the podcast, anybody that joins between now and Christmas is getting a 2-month discount. And those of you that are already signed up, that will be applied to your accounts as well. I've got a meeting with the tech guy over at Another Slice at the end of this week. And I'm just going to confirm with him that I'm doing it right before I apply it, so that I make sure that you guys all get what I promised, which is 2 months of free membership. And that is, of course, on the Another Slice platform. If you go onto our previous video, you'll be able to find the link in the description. I should have put it in this one, but as I said, I was rushing around and I'm basically really disorganised and all over the shop today. As Ben White picks it up at right back. Charges up towards the halfway line. Square ball infield to Partey. First time ball looking for Odegaard, but it was intercepted. It does fall to Holding, who sends one out to the left wing. Reece Nelson tries to bring it under control. He was challenged by Kalulu. Nelson wanted a throw in. He's not going to get one though. Milan certainly look a much better side than Lyon. You have to say that based on this first 15 minutes. Arsenal are nowhere near as in control. Arsenal aren't in control at all, to be quite frank. You know, Milan, you could argue, have maybe been the better side in these opening exchanges. But as I've said, look, it's not about results. You want to see flashes of a performance because you want to know that people are getting close to their peak levels again. And you want people to come through these games unscathed more than anything else. I mean, I don't know about you guys, but my enjoyment of the World Cup has been severely impacted by the fact that I've been sitting there biting my nails around so many Arsenal players. Looking forward to tonight's game, mind you, between Argentina and Croatia. That should be an absolute cracker. Raphael says, hi Harry, great seeing you do the commentary. Just joined the show. Milan are providing a stern test for Arsenal. If Arsenal do well today, it will provide more optimism playing without Gabby Jesus. You're right. You're absolutely right. Here's Holding. Pings one in field to Lokonga. Just lost control of it. It wasn't a great ball from Rob Holding. He put him under pressure and Lokonga's giving it away. And Rebic comes forward down the left for Milan. Cuts it back inside to Salamakers, who shoots over the top of the crossbar. 17 minutes played. Arsenal 0, Milan 0. And the Gunners aren't having it all their own way here in the Al Maktoum Stadium against the Italian champions. Moss says we should get some member shields too. Listen, Tom on the Gooner Talk TV is much better at all this stuff than me. That's why you probably get member shields and God knows what else. Mate, I can barely turn on my laptop without messing something up these days. I'm trying. I'm getting there. I'm trying. Here is Ben White on the right-hand side for the Gunners. Puts his foot on the ball. Back to Rob Holding at right centre-back. Divock Origi just closing off that channel to Gabriel. And so he goes into midfield for Odegaard. Spins. And plays it right to Ben White. Lovely chip ball down the line. Taken beautifully in his stride by Fabio Vieira. But across comes the defender Gabbia to put it out of play. Fabio Vieira's been quiet so far. Matt says, how's Nelson playing? He's been fairly quiet as well. He's been more involved than Fabio Vieira, but he still is yet to really burst into life in this one. But you can say that of every Arsenal player at this moment in time. I think Milan have just edged it so far in terms of being the better side. Arsenal have a throw-in from the right, in line with the edge of the penalty area. And Thomas Partey is going to take it. He's going to provide a long throw into the penalty area that Arsenal will be hoping to make something of. 18 minutes and 30 seconds exactly on the board as Thomas Partey launches this ball into the penalty area. It's easily caught, though, by Tatarusanu, the Romanian goalkeeper, at his near post. Disappointing that, because you send everybody forward. The taker winds up a long throw. And if you throw it straight to the keeper, kind of defeats the object, doesn't it, of bringing everybody forward. Bit disappointing, that. Tatarusanu, chip ball out to the left-back position. Taken on the chest by the Milan defender and played forward, but only as far as Thomas Partey, who's come out to the right-hand side. Pings a ball into Nketiah's feet. Brings it under control. Looks to spin off of his man and then finds Partey once again. Big gap of space in the middle of the pitch after Eddie Nketiah obviously vacated that position to come deeper and pick it up. Lovely between the lines ball from Odegaard into Nketiah, who was fouled right on the edge of the box. This is a Fabio Vieira special, you'd argue. Vieira scored from a really similar position against Lyon just the other day. Martin Odegaard rushed over to pick the ball up, and it will be one of the two of them, of course, as they both stand over this. Graham49 says, anyone know where I can watch the match? You can find the match on arsenal.com. You'll need to buy a match pass. I think it's $5.99 or something like that. Excuse me, I'm still on the Lucozade. I had a heavy night last night and I'm paying for it. Man, I'm too old for things like that. Odegaard and Vieira stand over it. Will it be the Norwegian, Arsenal's club captain, or will it be the summer signing from FC Porto of Portugal, Fabio Vieira? It looks as though it's going to be Odegaard based on the way they're standing. Martin Odegaard, left-footed, finds the back of the net. That is sublime from Martin Odegaard. Wow. Wow. Absolutely brilliant. Top draw stuff from Martin Odegaard. A beautiful free kick. He just lifted it over the wall and it dropped down nicely and went into the bottom corner. Tatarusanu beaten. All ends up. Arsenal are in front against Milan. You could argue it's probably been slightly against the run of play, but that won't matter too much. Martin Odegaard on the score sheet. Beautiful free kick. It's perfect. He dinks it over the wall at the near post and drops it down into the near post area, right in the corner. Tatarusanu with no chance. He can't see it at first, and by the time he does, it's past him and it's hitting the back of the net. Arsenal are in front. Martin Odegaard, the captain, with the goal. We're on our way to the Dubai Super Cup, lads. Dubai Super Cup winners. You'll never sing that. Brilliant stuff. You know what? Give us a like for Odegaard's free kick. There you go. If you liked Odegaard's free kick, if you enjoyed Martin Odegaard's free kick, if you love the fact that Arsenal were leading by 1-0, leave a like on the video. There's way over 200 of you with us right now. And we want to get up to at least 100 likes sooner rather than later. So please do like. You know the drill by now. It really, really does help. But Martin Odegaard, oh, beautiful. Beautiful stuff from the Norwegian. Fantastic goal. Here is Tatarusanu in the Milan goal. We haven't done a watch-along, have we, since Harry Kane basically bottled it and eliminated England from the World Cup. So I thought I'd get that in there. Leave a like if you enjoyed, not if you enjoyed England crashing out, but, you know, if you could handpick someone to be responsible for England crashing out, you'd have picked Harry Kane, wouldn't you? I certainly would have. As White plays it infield to Partey. Lovely ball around the corner, up towards Eddie Nketiah, cut out by the Milan defence. See, people say to me, right, when you're doing these, stop asking for likes. It's annoying to hear. But every time I do it, the likes spike. And when I don't do it, they don't. So I promise you it's not because I want to be annoying or irritating. I'm well aware of how many times I do it as well. But obviously we want to hit the target. We want to get to the subscriber target sooner rather than later as well. And with the Premier League coming back in just a couple of weeks' time, I promise you this is the place to be. I promise you, you're going to want to be part of the Chronicles of a Gooner family, because I've got lots of access. I'm going to be covering lots of Arsenal games between now and the end of the season for BBC London. So I'm going to be at the games. I'm going to be bringing you reaction from the games. I'm going to be bringing you commentary from the games and reports from the games and all sorts. So, yeah, make sure you're subscribed. I promise you, you'll enjoy the ride. Matt G says, haha, Harry, don't talk about England. You know some folks don't like that. My God, the way some people got defensive the other day just because I said, like, chill out with the England chat. Like, they don't have a divine right to win every tournament. It was nuts. If you saw some of the DMs I got on Twitter the other day, you know what? I'll show you guys some of them a little bit later on if I remember. Some of them were shocking. I haven't even opened them. You can just see from the preview how bloody bad they are. Arsenal wanting a free kick on the edge of the box. Eddie Nketiah went down under a challenge, but the referee, Sultan Saleh, says no. He says no. Tom says, good afternoon, Harry and chat. Are you well? All good, mate. Thank you. How are you? He says, I forgot there would be a watch-along for this here. Better late than never. Yeah, better late than never. As Tierney has it in the box, cuts it back looking for Odegaard. Tries to keep it alive on the stretch, but Milan pick it up on the edge of their penalty area and look to spring a counter-attack with a ball over the top of Rob Holding, who will allow it to run out of play. And there was Mikel Arteta on the touchline to catch it, give it to his player, and get Arsenal moving again. He plays a big part on the sidelines, Mikel Arteta, in terms of trying to keep that speed and tempo in everything they do, doesn't he? He's really big on that. Here is Karl Hein, 25 minutes and 7 seconds on my clock. Here's Ben White on the right-hand side. Crosses into Milan territory, looks for Nketiah, made a run across his man, but White's given it away. Rebic now on the left, spins away from Holding and then looks to release Origi, who was on the shoulder, but Rob Holding managed to cut out the pass, and Arsenal have it back now with Gabriel. Lokonga, slightly to the left of centre. Lays it off to Gabriel. He's just filling that gap as Kieran Tierney's gone high and wide on that left-hand side. He's doing the Granit Xhaka role today, if you want to call it that. James Bond says, who scored, guys? Martin Odegaard with the goal. A sublime free kick from the Norwegian. As Rebic nutmegs Thomas Partey, then tries to go around him. But the Ghanaian just blocks him off, and that will be a free kick to Milan. Rightly so. Just a little drop of the shoulder from Rebic. He just sucked Thomas Partey in and then just knocked it through his legs. And as he went to go around the other side, Thomas Partey making sure that he made no further progress. Guys, we're 11 likes away now from that 100 mark. So come on, do us a favour. Help us out. Hit the like button. Let's get to 100 sooner rather than later. It really does help, as Tonali has it in midfield for the Serie A champions, the Rossoneri, as they're known. Ball given away by Milan and picked up by Tierney. Crosses the halfway line. Inside to Partey. Chip ball out towards the left, looking for Lokonga, but Nketiah gets something on it, and he'll chase his own flick on Eddie Nketiah, but then Tata Rusanu comes out of goal and makes sure that the Arsenal forward makes no further progress. Tonali, lovely ball around the corner, that, and Milan look to come away. Rebic sends the ball out to the right-hand side. Will his colleague be able to catch this, though? He does. Keeps it in and then crosses from the right-hand side in towards Divock Origi, who headers just inches wide of Karl Hein's right-hand post. That was a really good Milan counter-attack. Sweeping move down the right-hand side. It was Adli who got there, took the touch, looked up, delivered into the box. It was over the top of Gabriel, and Divock Origi had drifted into the space in between Rob Holding and Gabriel. Rose early and headed down, rightly so, towards the far corner. Again, rightly so. But it was just wide from the former Liverpool striker. Arsenal have got away with that because they really, really should be on level terms. Two teams are going to take a brief pause and take on some fluids. Thank you, by the way, because we've got to that 100 likes target. Really, really do appreciate it. If you've got any questions, any thoughts, anything you want to say about the game so far, get involved in the chat box. And don't forget, we will be bringing you a full review show of the match in a little bit as well. So around about 15-20 minutes after the full-time whistle, we'll be jumping on. We'll be doing our review show, which will also be available in podcast format. Obviously, the watch-alongs, they're only on YouTube. Just watching that Odegaard free kick again. Oh, superb. Because he gets it over the wall, but he's got so much dip on it. The trajectory is so perfect that it goes up, and then it just suddenly dips back down. And by the time it goes over the goal line, it's nowhere near the crossbar. It's literally sort of, a yard off the floor. It's just brilliant. It's brilliant. It's such a well taken free kick. Goalkeeper with absolutely no chance. Fabio Vieira receiving some instructions from the Arsenal bench. I don't think they're entirely satisfied with what they've seen of him so far. It's not to say that he's been bad. I don't want to call anyone out in a match like this, but he's not been involved as much as Arsenal would like. He's not been on the ball a lot. He's not found space on the right-hand side. Maybe I just kind of have to temper my expectations, because this is a much higher level opponent than the one we played the other day, and that's really important to note. Arsenal have the ball at the moment with Karl Hein, the Estonian goalkeeper. People talk a lot about Karl Hein and, the fact that he is someone who Arsenal obviously have high hopes for. He's also someone who is his country's #1 at such a young age. That is pretty impressive too. And, it just says that he's probably a little bit further along in his development than maybe we give him credit for. Of course, I mentioned it earlier and mentioned it against Lyon the other day. Wasn't great against Brighton in the Carabao Cup, but looked very assured against Lyon. And he's looking okay again today, and I hope he does develop. I really, really do. Anubav says, just listening to this while working out, as good as watching the game. Thank you, mate. I hope you're enjoying it, and really, really appreciate you tuning in while you're working. I know the kickoff times of these games are a bit crap, aren't they? As Milan have a corner now from their left-hand side. Can they find the equaliser that their play probably deserves? They've had 5 corners so far in this one. Arsenal have had just a couple. It's going to be Adli to deliver it. Right-footed in towards the near post. Flicked on. But it was Fabio Vieira waiting on the penalty spot to hook it clear up to the halfway line, where Sandro Tonali will pick it up. Here is Adli. Looking for the run in behind. James Bond says, Harry, do you do commentary part-time as well? Sounds so professional and it fits your voice. Thank you so much, mate. I do. I do some commentary for BBC London. I did some commentary for Arsenal a few weeks ago on their under-21s matches that were streamed on the club site. I've done some bits for VSIN in the States in the past. Commentary is what I love. It's what I want to pursue. It's the thing that I want to do most, and hopefully I'll get there one day. But yeah, working hard at it, always looking to improve, always looking for feedback, always listening to good people and what they have to say. But yeah, it's a really competitive business. There's only so many games that are broadcast, and there are obviously so many people that want to do it. So yeah, hopefully get there one day, as Nelson comes down the left, lays it off to Lokonga, inside to Odegaard, takes a touch and then spins. Forced backwards though, Martin Odegaard. Gabriel will chip the ball out to the left-hand side. Tierney looks to take it in his stride, but the touch was just a little bit too heavy. The Modern Gooner says, why isn't Ante Rebic with the Croatian squad at the World Cup? He had a standout last World Cup for Croatia. Honestly, mate, I don't know. Might be worth looking it up. Was he fit when they departed for the World Cup? Could that have been something to do with it? I don't know. Check it out. If anyone knows the answer, please let me know. Good to see Delisu, who says, just got home. Nice to see we're ahead. Your commentary's top-notch, Harry. Thank you so much. Steve says, are Arsenal going to give you another gig, Harry? I hope so. I did the first one, and I was really nervous about it. People ask me how was it and stuff. You know what? It was really nerve-wracking. Normally when I do a commentary, and I've done a fair few now, I do my preparation, and I try and do my preparation in stages over the course of the week, because there's a mix-up here. Foul on Tata Rashanu in the end, though, who just lost the ball. come back to my story. So yeah, I normally do my preparation over the course of the week, right? Because what I hate is having to take in shit tons of information in a really short space of time. I don't think that's the way to do it. Not for me anyway, not with my learning style. What I like to do is, I know I'm doing a game, I will make sure that I turn notifications off for news around both of the clubs that I'm going to be covering. And over the course of the week, I'll compile sort of scene setting stuff that, you know, provides the backstory to the game, and I'll make sure that I not just write that down, but that I know that, and I make notes on it and I keep it with me. And then team news, you want to leave that as late as possible, because you know that there can be changes in that sense, but you obviously want to have an understanding of what the core team is, and you'll have an expected lineup, etc., and you'll do deeper research, I guess, on the players that you expect will definitely be involved. And then the night before, I sit down and I pull all of that together. So I will do I would type up an intro that is not, you know, exactly word for word, but a loose version of my introduction, because, you know, one of the things I learnt was, when I first did it, I typed up a full intro, and then somebody who introduced me on the broadcast asked me a question that threw off the beginning of my intro. So you don't want to script it too much, but you want to have an idea of what you're planning to say. And then you do the game and you let it flow. Once the game starts, that's the easy part. It's just about knowing when to put the information in that you've researched, and you want to show that you're well researched, and you want to show that you care and that you've taken a big interest in the game, etc. But when I first done the game for Arsenal, I prepared obviously for the under-21s. That was what the game was. And when I turned up there and I got the team sheet, which was maybe 40 minutes before the game, it turned out that actually that day Mehmet Ali had decided to change it up and had decided to go with a lot of the under-18s players rather than the under-21s, because it was a Premier League Cup fixture. And I'm sitting there and I went, oh my God, there's a few players here that I haven't even prepared for. And I was really panicking and shitting it, and I literally sat with my laptop and, you know, started researching. I think it was 5 or 6 players that were in the squad, not starting, but that were in the squad that I had very, very vague notes on. So yeah, I wanted to fix that, and I wanted to impress, because, you know, Arsenal had given me an opportunity. It's my club. I obviously want to work there as much as I possibly can. So yeah, I wanted to impress, and then got some feedback, which was obviously positive, and then got called to do the next game for the under-21s, which was amazing as well. And look, these opportunities, they're there because the first team aren't playing. You know, the World Cup is on, so Arsenal had capacity and bandwidth, if you like, to broadcast live their under-21 games. But yeah, hopefully, you know, I'll get another opportunity, and hopefully it'll be sooner rather than later. I'm really obviously chuffed to be involved in the smallest way with the football club, and hopefully that continues. As I say, Gabriel chips a ball forward up towards Nketiah, but it will go out for a Milan goal kick. Can I ask for likes again? Is that cheeky? Can we try and get to 150 likes? Like. Raphael Lim says, hi Harry, is Martin Tyler your role model as a commentator? He's one of them. I think there's a lot. There's a few. There's a fair few that I'm a huge admirer of and a big fan of. The reason Martin Tyler is definitely up there for me is because he is iconic. You know, if you think about some of Arsenal's greatest moments in the Premier League, they are voiced by Martin Tyler. So that will always be there. But more so than that, I went to a networking event a long time ago, a few years ago now, when I first started podcasting. And Martin Tyler was the guest speaker. And when I saw that Martin Tyler was the guest speaker, and obviously I had an interest in commentary, I was like, yeah, I want to go to this. I'll make time to go to this. And I went. And there was an exercise where everybody who was involved had to basically stand up and say what they do. And I said, look, you know, my day job is in banking, but I'm started a podcast, and you know, I'm trying to get it off the ground, and I really enjoy it, and I'm not really sure what the ambition and goal is at the moment, but it's just something that I'm loving, and let's see where it goes. And Martin Tyler, to his credit, said, you know what, that sounds really, really interesting. I'd like to help you. And he gave me his phone number, and he said to me, I'd love to come on your podcast. You know, I'd love to do it. And so if you go back to the Chronicles of a Gooner original, if you search it, you will find an episode with Martin Tyler of the Chronicles of a Gooner podcast. And he was brilliant. He spoke about his career, he spoke about commentary, we spoke about other different things. And if you listen to me then compared to now, I was terrible. Like when I think about it then, in terms of how I used to interview someone, it was very scripted, very safe, very robotic, because I was learning. You know, this was the beginning of my podcast/broadcast journey. But Martin Tyler took the time out of his day to do the podcast, and later on he'd said to me that if I ever had any commentary demos that I wanted him to just listen to and sort of give me feedback on, that he'd be willing to do that. And a lot of people say stuff like that, but do they follow through with it? Martin Tyler did. You know, I sent him one and he gave me some really detailed notes on it and said, you know, work on this a little bit, work on that, really like this, not so much that part. So it was good because you got positive and negative, so you know what you're doing right, you know what you're doing badly, and that's what you want. So yeah, that's why he's right up there. Clive Tilsley's amazing as well, he's mentioned in there. Peter Drury, fantastic too. There's loads. I'm a big fan at the moment. I really enjoy Adam Somerton's commentary on BT Sport. I think he's great. Does a fantastic job on the BT Sports Serie A stuff, but also starting to do a bit more Champions League and Europa League, I think, and some Premier League as well, which is fantastic. 39 minutes, 36 seconds on the board. Arsenal 1, Milan 0 in the Dubai Super Cup. We've been chatting about everything else for the last few minutes, but nothing's been happening, to tell you the truth. It's been really slow. Not a lot of action. Not a lot of interesting conversations to be had around this game. But Fabio Vieira is down on the floor. He was involved in a coming together with Sandro Tonali there, who, for me, crossed the line a little bit. Just used his arm on Fabio Vieira's face as Fabio Vieira went to go across him. He just raised an arm, Tonali, to stop Vieira progressing. I didn't like that. I think he's very lucky to have gotten away with that because Arsenal only have a throw. Ben White is going to take it. Down the line towards Nketiah. Headed away by the centre half. Cy Walder says Jeremy Aliadier's Franglish accent. What are you listening to it on? Because I've got it on the Arsenal website and I've got Dan Roebuck and Perry Groves, I think. Here's Vieira. Square to Reece Nelson. Shot deflected in. Arsenal double their lead on 41 minutes. Reece Nelson with the goal. A mix-up at the back for Milan. Arsenal took advantage. Fabio Vieira probably could have scored himself, but instead decided to unselfishly roll the ball to Reece Nelson, who was to his right. He took a touch. He struck towards goal, and his effort took a deflection to go past Tatarusanu and add to Arsenal's lead. It's Arsenal 2, Milan 0. Arsenal nick it back on the edge of the box. Reece Nelson gets it from Vieira. His shot deflects. I don't know if it came off Martin Odegaard or the defender. I think it was the defender. And that just takes it up and over Tatarusanu. It was off Odegaard. It was off Martin Odegaard in the end. It will be a Reece Nelson goal as far as I'm concerned. Will they give it to Martin Odegaard? I don't know, but struck towards goal. It took a deflection off of Odegaard, who tried to jump out of the way of it, and that just took it up off the ground a little bit, and that meant that Tatarusanu's dive was no longer going to be effective as the ball flew over the top of his outstretched arms. Arsenal 2 goals to the good. There's been a ruthlessness to this Arsenal side when the opportunities have come along, because they haven't been amazing today. That's what you want to see. Looks like the goal's been awarded to Reece Nelson, at least by Arsenal anyway. We'll see where that goes. That's one for the dubious goals panel, I guess. Can we get to 150 likes in celebration of Arsenal's second? We're 20 or so away, 22, 23, something like that. Leave a like on the video. You know the drill. Subscribe to the channel if you're new, as Rebic Tries to get him behind Ben White, who was equal to him in terms of his pace, speed and awareness. The flag did eventually go up against Ante Rebic, who just slightly strayed into an offside position. Moss says that Odegaard knows hockey too. Tip-ins count. Is that what they call that? Here is Gabriel. Back to Carl Hein. Holding. Back to Gabriel inside his own penalty area. Sends it long up towards Reiss Nelson, but Milan win it back. Hurtlocker JH has just jumped on. Second goal comes in. And so does the like. Thank you so much. Big hello to Mohammed as well. Says, hi Harry, hope you're well, my friend. Welcome. Big hello to Brandon as well. 44 minutes and 8 seconds on my clock as it stands. Ball chipped up towards the halfway line. Here's Vieira. Kicked at horribly by the Milan defender, Gabbia. That was well out of order. That was really, really nasty and completely unnecessary as well. He just kicks through Fabio Vieira. He'll claim that he was trying to get something on the ball, but for me, that was totally unnecessary in a game of zero significance as well. Now, that really pisses me off in friendlies. I know you want to be competitive to a point. And I know that, you know, you feel a responsibility to the paying spectators to be competitive to a point, but that type of challenge for me in a friendly like this is totally unnecessary. Big hello to Ted, who says, hi Harry, normally listen on Spotify. Great to catch you live. Top quality content as always. Thank you so much, mate, and welcome along to YouTube. Partey, dispossessed. A few yards from the Arsenal penalty area. Origi has it on the edge of the Arsenal box. Trying to fashion the space for a shot. Doesn't manage to do so and works it out to the right-hand side. We've got 4 minutes of time added on at the end of this first half. Arsenal 2, Milan 0. Arsenal win it back in midfield through Partey. Finds Nketiah, who will run at the Milan backline. He's got Nelson on the outside of him. Uses the run of Reiss Nelson. Left-footed shot over the top of the crossbar. Just couldn't quite adjust his body in time to strike the ball first time as he intended. Just a little bit off balance as he hit it, Reiss Nelson. You can see what he was trying to do. Tatarasanu's a big goalkeeper, and he had all angles covered in the end. Unlucky that. But good to see Nketiah picking up the ball, charging at the back line. Reiss Nelson busting a gut to get up on the outside of him. You know, there were options to the right as well. Odegaard and Vieira had ventured forward, and that takes people away as well, doesn't it? Creating space. Eddie Nketiah almost dispossessing Tatarasanu, the goalkeeper, closing him down at the very last minute. Here's Tierney on the left for the Gunners. Partey holds off a challenge. Thomas Partey chips it towards Eddie Nketiah. Almost a mix-up at the back. Nketiah tries to keep it alive, but into the side netting it goes. Graham49 says, Harry, do you think we will regularly see Fabio Vieira played on the right as a backup to Saka? I've always said from the day we signed him that I think that he will play the majority of his football for Arsenal on one of the flanks. I think that that's where we see him currently. I think maybe the long-term ambition and goal will be to move him into a number 8 position, but I think at the moment, as he adapts to the Premier League, as he still tries to find his feet, probably needs to just bulk up a little bit physically. I think that's the best way to get him into the side. Got a wonderful left foot, scored a couple of goals, scored a great goal in the game on Thursday against Lyon from that position, drifting in from the right-hand side. Yeah, I think you could see that for sure. And I've always thought that would probably be the case with Fabio Vieira. So, yeah, good to see. Ben White looking for an option. Down the line it goes. Eddie Nketiah keeps it alive at the corner flag. Back to Vieira. His pass infield finds Odegaard. Lovely flick to Partey. And Arsenal work it into the centre of the pitch now. Gabriel's ball into Odegaard. First time ball looking for Nelson. And it just took a bit of a ricochet. And that just prevented Reiss Nelson or Martin Odegaard making anything of it. Big hello to Quest for the best as well. Good to see you in the chat, mate. Thank you so much for your kind words, of course. The offside flag's gone up against Ante Rebic. We've had the majority of the 4 minutes added. The half-time whistle is not far away, but not before. It won't go before Milan get an opportunity on the break. They've let that disappear. However, it broke down, and there is the half-time whistle at the Al Maktoum Stadium. Arsenal 2, Milan 0. Goals from Martin Odegaard and Reiss Nelson / Martin Odegaard as well. The Gunners are playing okay, actually. Pretty well, in fact, and obviously lead this one by a couple of goals to 0 against a very good Milan side. And we'll be hoping that we can continue that level of performance in the second half. We're going to take a short break, probably about 3 or 4 minutes. I'm just going to run inside, grab another drink, and I will be back straight away. We'll reflect on that first half. We'll take your thoughts and questions from the comments, and then we'll take you all the way through the second half. So thank you so much. See you in a moment. Hey everybody, how's it going? Welcome back to the live watch-along of Arsenal versus Milan in the Dubai Super Cup. Yes, that prestigious competition that Arsenal are bidding to win and add to our trophy collection. Can't wait. It's currently Arsenal 2, Milan 0. The Gunners leading courtesy of Martin Odegaard's sublime free kick. And then Reiss Nelson's shot, which took a slight deflection off of Martin Odegaard on its way in. I think the goal's been given to Reiss Nelson, probably rightly so. But there will be some out there that will argue that Odegaard's got two. I don't know. We'll see. As I say, thank you for being with us. Thank you for joining me for this live watch-along. Really enjoyed it so far and looking forward to taking you guys through to the second half. Don't forget to leave a like on the video if you haven't done so already. And you'll only be allowed to comment in the chat box if you're a subscriber. So get subscribed, get involved, help us as we push towards that 25,000 target that we are so close to. I think we're about 110 away from that now. And yeah, the sooner we get there, the better. It'll be amazing. There's quite a bit of momentum right now with the channel, which I'm really enjoying after a bit of a lull at the beginning of the World Cup, because you don't really know what to do. You know, I started out doing some World Cup content and, you know, covering the games that were going on every day. And then I very quickly realized that our Arsenal supporting subscriber base probably doesn't care all that much about some of the games. I know this World Cup as well has been very divisive for so many reasons. I know that people felt that they didn't really want to follow it, and the numbers were really down and it wasn't going very well. And I just kind of decided that, look, rather than, you know, keep on trying to, you know, just almost force content, I would just, and things are going brilliantly. So yeah, here we go. Bear with me a second. There we go. Are we back live? I think we're back live. Just lost connection just temporarily there. Don't know what happened. Successfully connected again, which is good. Apologies for that, but we're all good. We're up and running. We're ready to get back underway in the second half in just a couple of minutes or so. The game is available on the Arsenal website for those that want to watch it. I know that some of you in the chat have been asking me where you can find it. That is where you can find it. Sorry for the very short outage there. Don't know what happened. Try and do something live, it never goes the way you want it to, does it? Jeez. Just yeah, waiting for the second half to begin, basically. Any thoughts on that first half? I mean, I think it's really hard to draw too many conclusions from these types of games, but obviously to see Ben White back in is great. To see Thomas Partey in is great. To see Odegaard pulling strings is great. To see Nketiah doing a really good job up front, which I think he is, in terms of not just scoring goals, but running channels, pulling defences apart, creating space for others, facilitating the likes of Fabio Vieira and Reiss Nelson to come into more central areas. I think all of that stuff is so... It's so important to the way we play nowadays. And, you know, obviously losing Gabi Jesus, as we spoke about earlier, is a big blow. And it's something that, unfortunately, we just have to put up with. And we just have to deal with it. And we just have to get on with it as best as we can and hope that we can get through that period without him, as, you know, with a healthy points tally. And, yeah, you know, it's that simple, isn't it? And, yeah, to see Eddie Nketiah sort of developing in front of my eyes, albeit in these friendly matches, is something that I take encouragement from. Baguma says, did you forget the Baguma digital clock theorem? No, I didn't. I actually spent that entire break where I said I was going to go and get a drink, trying to figure out how to prop this up for you guys to see it. And I came to the conclusion that I can't do it right now. I need to be prepared. I need to put it on some sort of stand or something. Instead, I just dismantled loads of shit on my desk, messed it all up anyway, and have to put it back afterwards. So no, it didn't work. It didn't happen. So apologies, but I promise you that we'll try and get that sorted next time around. I totally forgot that I had this thing, and I literally bought it for this reason a long time ago. It's one of those cooking timers that people put on when they're going to bake something, but yeah, it's clearly got better uses. Don't forget to leave a like on the video, as I've already mentioned. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel if you're new, and if you want to become a member of the Chronicles of a Gooner podcast, you can do that via the Another Slice platform. So head over to www.anotherslice.com On there, you will find the Chronicles of a Gooner as one of the featured podcasts. What you need to do is, on the website, create a login, create an account. Once you've created that account, you can then log in and subscribe to the Chronicles of a Gooner. You'll get access to all our premium content. And if you do it before Christmas, we're going to give you a couple of months free. So if you want to do it, please check it out now while the offer is there. I'm sure you'll enjoy the content that's on there. I'm sure you'll enjoy what we've got to come, of course, when the Premier League returns. And that'll be a lot more than you currently get on the YouTube channel and, of course, on the audio platforms. We're going to take it up a level. We're going to take it up a notch. With your support, I'm going to be able to get somebody to help me putting all this content together. And that's ultimately what it's for, really, is to give me that little bit of support so that I can keep taking the output level higher, the quality higher, and that's a massive part of it. So yeah, thanks in advance to those that do sign up, and thank you, of course, to those whom already have. Okay, Arsenal versus Milan in the Dubai Super Cup, second half coming up in just a moment. Mike says it was a fairly controlled first half with a couple of blips. Good to see the boys in action again. And then we add Mudryk and Felix. The Mudryk talk is really hot enough, isn't it? Like, really hot enough. Been reading so much about him over the last couple of days. I've heard lots of, people saying that he's a real talent. Andy Brassel said on Sky today that he expects him to be a Premier League player by the end of January. Andy Brassel is a good friend and colleague. He's fantastic. And when he speaks, you listen. And to hear him say that obviously gives me encouragement that this still could be done as well. I've said all along that we're not going to pay the 100 million euros that Shakhtar are publicly asking for. It's never going to happen. But yeah, I think that Arsenal will take a gamble on Mykhailo Mudryk. And it is a gamble, right? People will pass it off as a sure thing. It's not a sure thing. It is a gamble. It's an almighty gamble for a player who is very, very much, on an upward trajectory, but isn't quite the finished article. And the reason I say that is not based on his performances. It's based on where he's playing. It's based on the fact that he's going to need to up his level to be a success here to the same level and to the same degree that he is when he plays in Ukraine. Yes, he's shown it on the Champions League stage, but that's been in a handful of games. And I think that, we have to, if we do get this signing over the line, we have to accept and acknowledge where Mykhailo Mudryk is actually at. And don't think that he's going to come in and be a world beater straight away. If he is, amazing. If he is, fantastic. But I think it's going to take him a little bit of time. And I think that he's someone that Arsenal look at for the long term. He's someone that Arsenal look at as, part of the grand plan, if you want to call it that. And, let's see. Let's see. Lynn Simpson says, if you rest your clock on the stool near your bottle, it should be okay. Stool near my bottle. There's a table there. But I don't think you'd be able to read it from that distance, will you? Cedric and Elneny are coming on. Partey's off. And Ben White is off, I think. Two lads that have just come back from the World Cup. Do you know what? I'll start the clock off and we'll try and find somewhere to put it again in the meantime. So a couple of changes for the Gunners. Partey and White make way. Cedric and Elneny come on, like-for-like replacements, of course. Makes sense, given that those two have just, of course, returned from the World Cup. They haven't been back in training for more than a few days with the club, but here they are. Players are back out on the field. We're just awaiting the second half to kick off. Not sure exactly what the delay is, but the referee looks around, makes his final counts, starts the watch and blows the whistle, and we start our clock too. This is the clock, but where the hell am I going to put it? This is the problem, eh? This is the problem. You know what? If I put it... Hold on. I've got an idea. Bear with me. For the first few seconds of this second half, maybe this is going to work. I don't know. I'm going to have to be very, very careful, though, not to jog it or nudge it while I'm covering the game. Hopefully I don't jump up and down. Nah, I won't. It's a friendly. Keep your cool, son. Keep your cool. Let's see. Hold on. Origi. How is that? Nope, you can't see it. It's still too low. It's still too bloody low. Still too bloody low. We'll have to find somewhere else to put it. Oh dear. Let's see what else you've got. Arsenal Nexus says, but Ben White did not play. Agreed, he didn't play, but while the rest of them, for some of that time, were on holiday, having a break before the Dubai training camp, and obviously before they returned to training at London Colney, Ben White was training, so he needs some sort of break. He needs some sort of easing back into the equation. It was never going to be, he played as a substitute. Sorry, he was a substitute, didn't play. So as soon as he comes back to Arsenal, he'll be ready for action again. That's not the way it works. It's all about recovery. It's all about fitness. It's all about making sure that nobody suffers from burnout, and all of those things come into the thinking when mapping out a player's return to club football after, of course, an international tournament. Big hello to Lloyd, who says, excellent work, Harry, as ever. How is Reece doing? We may need him more than some think. Yeah, Reece Nelson's looked lively the last few times I've seen him up. I'm still not sure. I'm still not 100% convinced about Reece Nelson either way. And so, I guess that's a good thing because I'm not writing him off. But, there's times where I think, yep, this lad's got it. And there's times where I think, not so sure. And so, yeah, difficult. Creambone says, Harry, at least we got to see what the top of the clock looks like. There you go. Look, you can see it here. Should I just hold it like this? Should I just sit like this? The entire 90 minutes, 45 minutes that are remaining. I need to basically find something that's this high to sit it on. I'm just trying to think what I have, and I don't have anything, I don't think. Hold on, what about this? What about this? What about this? Will this work? Gonna spend the entire half like messing around with this. How about that? Does that work? Nope, it still doesn't work. What if I move it back? Milan just having an opportunity there from a corner kick, and Cedric Suarez and co having to defend valiantly. The corner comes in, Rob Holding gets an effort. How about that, guys? Hold on a sec. I don't know if it will stay. It might fall. 1 minute. Let's try and adjust it a little bit more. All right, let's try with that. Does that work? Can I move it a little bit more to the corner so it's not so close to me and my butterfingers? All right, I think we might be there. We're there. This is the second half clock, right? So not the first half. As Milan come forward, opportunity on the edge of the box, worked out to the right-hand side. That's gone out of play, and it'll be an Arsenal goal kick. We're getting somewhere. Is that good? Thumbs up, thumbs down. It's not great. It's not bloody great. That works, says Matt G. Moss says it works as well, which is great. Dave Atkinson with a thumbs up as well. Don't forget, guys, try and help us get to a couple of hundred likes. We're about 30 away, so if you're just joining us a little bit later on and midway through the stream, then please do leave a like on the video. Subscribe, of course, to the channel as well. It really does help. Is this Milan's strongest team? No, it's not. It's not. A few changes. Obviously, they've got players at the World Cup as well. So, and players that have been eliminated from the World Cup but are not quite ready to return to club football just yet. So, yeah, a bit like us, bit of a mixed match between some of their first teamers and of course, those involved in the World Cup. Do you know what this clock is resting on, by the way? It's resting on. So I recently changed my microphone about a week ago, and this is the old microphone on its little desk stand, and I've very finely balanced this clock on the top of it. If I nudge my desk, it is gone. Yeah. But yeah, I think I need to get something to help with this, don't I, moving forward. Yeah. We are where we are. Long ball forward from Arsenal up towards the left-hand side for Nelson. So Sambi Lokonga involved too. It was Lokonga who committed the foul, as Reiss Nelson challenged for the ball. Lokonga came to support him and ended up giving away a free kick. Here's Tatarusanu in the Milan goal. They'll look to build down the right. Reiss Nelson biting back, trying to win it for Arsenal, trying to defend effectively. He does hold the Milan fullback up in his progress. And ball up to Origi. Cross comes Rob Holding. That's really good defending from Rob Holding. Read the situation really well. Sussed it out, stepped across him, got a toe in. Just read it before Divock Origi had an opportunity to kind of pull away from a pace perspective, which is something that Rob Holding, I think, struggles with, generally speaking. Gabriel into El Neni. Kieran Tierney. Here is Fabio Vieira. He's got Cedric on the outside if he can find him. The pass was just a little bit short. Showed a touch too much of it to the Milan defender. Baguma says, hang it at the bottle. Hang it on the bottle behind. We can see its top clearly. Next time I will do something better. I will set it up in a much more professional way. Right now, I just want to have it there and I don't really want to move and basically knock it all over and start again. So yeah, for now, this will do. But yeah, in future, we'll get something sorted so that we have the clock visible at all times during these watch-alongs. As I say, look, if I did loads of them, I'd make a lot more effort, but just don't get the time to do them. And to be honest with you, like, I quite enjoy them on games like this because it's quite casual, it's quite chilled. You know, you can have conversations as well as you're watching the game, and you know, you can process what you're seeing. When it comes to sort of the big Premier League games, I don't want to speak to anyone. I just want to be fully concentrated 100% and trying to keep my emotions in check. But yeah, on this occasion and for this type of game, it works quite well, doesn't it? As Gabriel plays the ball into Reiss Nelson. Nketiah back to Holding. Finds Cedric to his right, who will cross the halfway line with the ball at his feet for the Arsenal. Finds Vieira back in field slightly to Odegaard. Always looking to work it onto that left foot of his. Now Nelson. Can he take on his man? Back in field he goes to Tierney. He pings the ball into Nketiah. Looks to lay it off to Lokonga. Didn't quite get it right, but Lokonga might keep this alive. He does. He finds El Neni, whose chip ball forward is up towards Fabio Vieira, but Milan win it back. Arsenal looking to squeeze them into their own half, but not able to win the ball back, and Milan break away. And there's a ball in behind looking for the forward, but Karl Hein was alert and on the edge of his penalty area and waiting to collect it. Here's Karl Hein once again on the edge of his 6-yard box. Gets the ball back, takes his time, eventually closed down by Origi, but sends a long ball up to Nelson on the left-hand side. His header finds Tierney. His touch was a little bit loose. Thank you to Sam Drive for your very, very kind words in the comments, mate. Really, really appreciate it. And thanks, obviously, for being with us and tuning in. I asked if we could get to a couple of hundred likes. We're now 22 away, so if you wouldn't mind, if you haven't done so already, please do leave a like on the video. Subscribe to the channel if you're new. That's how you'll be able to get involved in the comments. Milan in possession on the halfway line. They're preparing a substitution down on this near side. Won't be long before they make that. Steve says, Harry, if you knew that Arsenal were watching you now, would you leave the clock there or would you move it? I would absolutely move it because it looks so bloody tin pot. It looks terrible. It's got to be digitalised. It's got to be digitalised, isn't it? Lazetic is coming on for Milan. He's going to replace Divock Origi. Hit the bar earlier on in the game, Divock Origi. He's threatened to get in behind that Arsenal backline just a couple of times this afternoon, UK time, this evening in Dubai, in the Al Maktoum Stadium, where the Gunners are currently playing their Dubai Super Cup fixtures. "55 minutes on the clock. We've had 10 minutes of this second period. It's been pretty slow. Pretty slow. But Arsenal are 2 goals to the good. We don't need to chase. We don't need to force the issue. Nikelo says, "Harry, you have no idea how long I've waited for good commentary whilst watching Arsenal games. I live in Germany now and usually have it in German. But this is great. Thank you. Please do more." Thank you very much, mate, for your kind words. Glad you're enjoying it. And yeah, hopefully we'll be able to do some more, work permitting. Lynn says, "I paid $5.99 the other day and it says this is for a month, but you still have to pay another $5.99 if you want to watch this. I think this is so unfair." As I understood it, Lynn, it was $5.99 per game. It was a day pass for $5.99, or if you bought both at once, as I did, I think it was a little bit cheaper. But in an ideal world, the games would be streamed for free, wouldn't they? In an ideal world. But there are production costs. You know, you could argue whether Arsenal should swallow those production costs. It's not really sort of my place to say. Arsenal are not the only club that do this, by the way. A lot of clubs have put their own sort of match coverage and stuff behind paywalls. I know that Tottenham have done that. Got a friend who works there, and I know that they've done that. And I know that a lot of Tottenham fans feel the same way. So totally get where you're coming from. I mean, personally, I would look to do something where, if it were me in charge, obviously it isn't, but I'd look to introduce something where members who are already paying a membership fee each season at least get access to it, and those who those who aren't either need to or buy it individually. I think that would make the most sense, but that's just my view, and my views are not that of Arsenal football clubs. As the Gunners come forward with Odegaard. Lovely step over, ball out to the right for Fabio Vieira, just inside the box. Low ball in towards Nketiah. It comes to Odegaard. Lovely touch. Looks to dance his way past 2 or 3 Milan players before he's stopped in his tracks. Milan survive. An Arsenal onslaught led, charged by Martin Odegaard. Here's El Neni's shot. Oh! Just over the top of the crossbar. El Neni's got a screamer in him every now and again, hasn't he? And I thought that was going to be it from Mohamed El Neni. He picked up the ball some 25 yards out and he let fly, and it just took a deflection off of Martin Odegaard. Again, Martin Odegaard getting in the way of everything today. And that just took it over the top of Tatarusanu's crossbar. But he still wasn't sure, the Romanian, and he still raised an arm. Arsenal come again. Here's Nketiah. Foul, though, given against Fabio Vieira in the build-up. Pobega, the man who won the free kick for Milan. I am... people asking how many minutes I'm in. I'm on 59:09. So I'm 14 minutes into the second half. I couldn't set the clock from 45, which was really annoying. But yeah, I'm 14 minutes or so. You can see on the clock into the second half. And as it stands right now, I'm 59 minutes and 27 seconds on the match clock. Not awful. A lot of confidence in that Milan backline as they look to play the ball out from the back. Here's Vieira. Shot from distance, deflected. Odegaard looks to help it on towards Lokonga, but he just couldn't connect with it properly as the ball sat. Lokonga trying to work his way past a couple of Milan defenders inside the penalty area. He's got that bit of skill about him, Sambi Lokonga. We don't always get to see it as much as we'd like, but he does have that ability to drop a shoulder and beat a man. Very technically gifted footballer who I think has struggled for confidence since joining Arsenal Football Club. I think he played a lot more than he was, I guess, earmarked to play when he first arrived. Not all of those performances have been great. He's not always had the best midfield around him. And I think that has damaged him a little bit in terms of his confidence. And Arsenal need to build that back up, because I really do believe there's a talent there. As Tierney whips a ball into the box, Holding was forward from the set piece. It comes to Vieira on the far side, shoots from the angle, blocked. Will come out towards the right-hand side. Odegaard gets a foot on it, but Adli for Milan will try and spring a counter-attack. Lynn says, Harry, are you watching this game? Yeah, I'm watching it. I'm watching it. Milan in possession in the back, in defence. Adli to the right fullback. Arsenal quite happy to allow Milan to have it across the back line at the moment, not really pressing as aggressively as they have done at various points. And I think with Arsenal, you know, one of the problems we've had is that we do burn out when we go 100 miles an hour, as any team would in those circumstances. And I think that you've probably got to play in spurts to a degree if you want to keep that really high level of intensity. Cedric coming across from right back to cover at left back, and then I thought he was fouled as he cleared the ball down the line. The referee says no, and Milan get the throw in instead, and then Tierney wins a challenge to concede yet another throw in on this near side to Milan. Here's Rebic looking to play a ball in behind Fabio Vieira, who was wise to it and helps the ball to the outside for Mohamed El Neni, who will carry it forward. Can Arsenal switch this to Reiss Nelson on the left, who's in lots and lots of space? Will he bring this down? He does. He's just inside the box. Reiss Nelson steps inside, cuts it back to Fabio Vieira, who puts it wide and really should have hit the target there, the Portuguese midfielder. He did brilliantly to just hold his run and drop into that pocket of space on the edge of the penalty area. He just couldn't wrap his left foot around it as the ball came in field from Reiss Nelson. And so it's high and it's wide in the end from Fabio Vieira. An opportunity that for Arsenal to at least work Tatarusanu in the Milan. Once again, apologies for the very brief dip in connection. Bakonga fouled on the halfway line. There's no question that that was a foul on Sambi Lokonga. My good friend Rob Segal is looking for a link for the game. Anybody could do him a solid. Feel free to share. Karl Hein at the back for Arsenal. Right-footed ball out to the left wing. Chested by Reiss Nelson. He was looking for Kieran Tierney, but he's given it away, and Milan have it just inside the Arsenal half. They work it out towards the left-hand side, but back came Fabio Vieira to get a toe in and just guide it back to his goalkeeper, Karl Hein. Arsenal build again from the back. Here's Odegaard dropping into a really deep position. Right-footed pass out to the right flank for Vieira. Goes back to Cedric Suarez. Infield to Lokonga. Cushions it into the path of Karl Hein, the goalkeeper, who opens up the play with a ball out to Tierney on the left-hand side. His ball infield finds Lokonga. Lovely use of the body to hold off the challenge, and looks to play in Nketiah. Maybe thought about the shot there, Eddie Nketiah. Decided against it. Angle was certainly against him. Keeps the move alive though. Finds Nelson on the corner of the penalty area looking for Nketiah. Adli of Milan gets back, gets a toe in and clears out of play. Craig says, I like that the team is basically playing Arteta ball, even though it's not the first team and it's not a competitive match. Yeah, that's so important, isn't it? That the standards are maintained, that everybody understands what's required. Everybody understands what the system is all about. Everybody understands what they're expected to deliver, no matter what the game, no matter the personnel. That's how you build continuity and success, isn't it? Shorty says, Harry, if you tilt your head back a bit, we can watch for free in your glasses. Yeah, but also, if somebody picks that up, I'll probably get done for copyright and have my channel struck off. So I'm not too fussed if you guys can see the reflection, I beg your pardon. Apologies. I had someone the other week report my channel for a copyright breach. I've literally never ever breached copyright on my channel, and I had to appeal the claim, and then YouTube found that my appeal should be upheld. Why would someone report that? I don't do it. It's nuts. Here comes Cedric. He's got Vieira on the outside of him, finds him. Vieira inside the box, checks back onto his left foot, edge of the penalty area towards Reiss Nelson. He just tried to dink it towards him, but there was a Milan player on hand to half clear it. Ante Rebic picks it up, and then Milan do clear it down the line. Rob Holding looking to prevent them progressing any further. Arsenal do win it back, though, in the end through Sambi Lokonga. He's being pulled all over the place, Sambi Lokonga. The referee plays advantage. That was certainly a foul. Here's Tierney. 67 minutes on the clock. El Neni, Odegaard, Lokonga chipped in towards the far post. And Nketiah will stretch. He won't be able to bring it down. It will run to Nelson, who brings it under control down by the corner flag. Back to Tierney. Arsenal still alive here with El Neni, but they have been forced all the way back to the halfway line, where Rob Holding will pick it up inside the centre circle. Steps confidently into midfield. Looking for Nketiah, but the pass was deflected. Milan will work it clear. Mark Randall says, Harry, how did Ben White look today? I thought he looked okay. I thought he looked comfortable. He wasn't at his best, but was he tested much? I'd argue no. For me, it's, as I've said already, these games, you want to see something. You want to see flashes. You want to see encouraging signs. But for me, ultimately, we know what a player Ben White is. We know what a great player he is. We know what he brings to the team. We know what a fantastic asset he is. And so it's just about getting these players back to match fitness and to sharpness and fine-tuning them, as I mentioned earlier on. That's what it's about for me. So if we can get, Ben White up to speed in time for Boxing Day, if we can get Thomas Partey up to speed in time for Boxing Day, that's great. I think that they will be fine. We know what quality players they are. And so I'm not massively worried about performances. I think these games are opportunities for some of the players that aren't, nailed on starters to impress. Your Nelsons, your Vieiras, your Lokongas. These games are for them, in my opinion. They're the players that I look at for performances. And we'll come on to talk about them on the post-match show, because we will do a reaction podcast as well, around about 20 minutes after the full-time whistle. But, yeah, I think they're the players that you need to be watching. They're the players that you need to be paying particular attention to in terms of their performances. But in answer to your question, because I've gone around the houses, apologies for that, I tend to do that quite a lot. Ben White looked okay to me. Not great, but not bad by any stretch of the imagination. Looked very tanned as well, which is always nice. But there you go. Matt says, to be honest, today pretty much confirms Partey and White are playing Boxing Day. It definitely confirms the intention to have them playing on Boxing Day. But I don't want to jinx anything, so I'm not going to say any more than that. Guys, please do leave a like on the video if you haven't done so already. We're 10 away from the 200 mark. That would be really, really helpful. And of course, if you're new to the channel, please do subscribe. That really helps as well. There's a Milan legend, Paolo Maldini, sitting in the stands. Tomori missed out on a World Cup place, of course. I think somewhat harshly, if I'm being honest. to Tierney. Nelson rolls his foot over the ball. Back to Elneny, and then Hine takes his time to pick out an option. Being closed down all the while, but he does get it clear in the end for Arsenal. The Gunners have it back with Lokonga just inside his own half. He's been hounded by a couple of Milan players. He does well to find Tierney into Nketiah. Did brilliantly to hold the ball up there, and he's going to get a card here, Eddie Nketiah. He just stuck out an arm to kind of protect the ball from the Milan defender that was snapping away at his heels, Gabbia. I don't think there was much in that. I think the defenders made an absolute meal of that. I'm hoping we'll get a replay. But Eddie Nketiah has gone into the book, much to his frustration. Matt says, is there a penalty shootout at the end of the 90 minutes? There is. There is a penalty shootout in all the games of this competition, even the games that you win. So load of nonsense. But hopefully it's a much better penalty shootout than the one we witnessed against Lyon, because that was dreadful. Absolutely dreadful. Ryan says, any sign of subs coming on soon? Not that I can really tell, but I am a slave to the camera angles that are given. Like, you can't see the big picture like you can when you're in the stadium. But I don't think that there's anything in the pipeline. I think that Arsenal and Milan are going to take a very brief pause now for some drink, some fluid, some water. Mikel Arteta's got the Gunners in a huddle and is obviously passing on some instruction. Just having another look at that Reiss Nelson goal. Took a deflection off of Martin Odegaard on its way through. But Reiss Nelson will certainly claim it. And I think he's well within his rights too, if I'm being honest. Arsenal leading Milan by 2-0 as it stands. Got around about 17 minutes remaining of normal time, and then of course we'll bring you that penalty shootout, which I nearly forgot about again, Matt, so thank you. I nearly forgot about it. Oh God, I'm yawning, it's terrible. I nearly forgot about it at the end of the Lyon game, and I almost did again today, so thanks for bringing that up. If you're wondering why I'm yawning on a stream, which is downright ridiculous, I had a Christmas party last night with the good people over at 90 Min. It was fantastic. We had a really great night. But I didn't get home till about 3:30 in the morning. Had a fair few drinks. And obviously, my kids decided to wake me up at 6 a.m. So I am very much lagging this evening. I'm looking forward to putting my feet up later on and watching the World Cup game between Argentina and Croatia. Should be a cracker. You asked about substitutes. Marquinhos is now entering the field of play. He makes his way on and will replace Fabio Vieira on that right-hand side. So a like-for-like change there as Arsenal look to see this one out. They'll get 3 points as it stands. And if they can win the penalty shootout, they'll get a bonus point to add to their Dubai Super Cup total. They won, obviously, the shootout against Lyon, so they picked up 4 points, maximum points from that one. If they could do that again today, stand them in very, very good stead, wouldn't it, in terms of winning the competition. That's a loose touch from the Milan defender. Nelson trying to pick his pocket, couldn't quite escape, having got a foot to the ball. That's a foul from Sambi Lokonga, says the referee Sultan Saleh on Krunic. Yeah, just had a little swipe at him, Lokonga. Nothing malicious, but just late. Milan looking for a way back into this game. We're one like away from 200, you brilliant people. Thank you so much. Don't forget to subscribe too. That's going to be a Arsenal throw-in, I think, on this near side. Much to the frustration of some of those in Milan colours. Stefano Pioli won't even give the ball to Kieran Tierney. He's holding on to it for a minute while he takes the opportunity to pass on some instruction to his players. There we go. 200th like from BR. Thank you so much, mate. Hope you're good. Welcome to the stream. Crusader says closing in to 25k. We're getting very, very close. In fact, I'll tell you exactly how close we are right now. We are 104 subscribers away. So, yeah, well chuffed with that. But want to get there sooner rather than later. And then we can start building towards the next milestone. Here is Diaz on the right-hand side. Cross comes in, dealt with by Gabriel. And Nketiah picks it up for the Gunners. Ball played into midfield by Milan. It will run. Arsenal pick it up at right back through Cedric. He and Marquinhos exchange a couple of passes, and then Cedric's chip ball is up towards Eddie Nketiah. Opportunity maybe to work the ball in the box from Milan. They're going to win a free kick. Down by the byline on that far side. Marquinhos, I think, just put a couple of hands on the attacker, just eased him over. It was one hand in the end. That angle confirms it. I don't think there was much in that, but referee thinks otherwise. And so Milan have a free kick on that far side. Opportunity to cross. Yellow card shown as well to Mohamed El-Neni in and among all of that. I'll come on to the Argentina stuff in just a minute, because there's lots of questions about that, but just want to see this free kick and how this plays out. Milan's free kick, as I say, down by the byline to the left-hand side of the penalty area, as they would call it. Sandro Tonali stands over it. It's pretty much like a corner, this, but from a slightly more infield position. In it comes, and it's headed in. And there it is. Milan have pulled the goal back. And it's Fikayo Tomori who scores it. Ball delivered into the penalty area, just clipped in by Sandro Tonali. Arsenal's clean sheet goes out of the window. And up rose Fikayo Tomori on the edge of the 6-yard box, headed into the bottom corner. The goalkeeper, Karl Hein, with no chance whatsoever. You have to look at the marking. You have to question the defending, because it was way too easy for Fikayo Tomori. And so now it's Arsenal 2, Milan 1. And the Italian champions, the Serie A champions, are, of course, right back in this with around about 12 minutes in normal time to go. Let's go back to the chat. Magi Life says, Harry, do you favour Argentina against Croatia tonight? Listen, I really would like to see Argentina win it, but I also love Croatia, and we're speaking really sort of highly of what they've achieved as a footballing nation since they became an independent nation as recently as 1991. When you think that they've now been to back-to-back World Cup semi-finals, they could make it tonight, back-to-back World Cup finals. They deserve an awful lot of praise and an awful lot of credit. So I'd be happy for them as well if they made it. But yeah, you know, for me, it's all about Argentina. And I was speaking to a colleague of mine at 90 Min yesterday, good friend Marco, who was out in Qatar and had been to so many games out there, and talked to me about the atmospheres, and always said that, you know, the Argentine supporters were the ones that lit the place up. He said the Mexicans were great as well while they were in the competition, but the Argentines were just on another level. And so, you know, when you think that they've got that in their corner as well as everything else, then, you know, there's a good chance that they go on, and there's a good chance that they end up winning the whole thing. But we'll see. We'll see. Rebel Air says, hello, Harry. Great to catch you live, as I don't manage it very often. Keep up the good work. What channel are you watching it on? I'm watching it on the Arsenal website with the match pass. So, yeah, I'm watching it on the Arsenal site, mate. Thank you for asking. And thank you, of course, for tuning in. There we go. Don't know why that was loose. But, yeah, I'm watching it on the Arsenal website. I think it was $5.99. I wouldn't buy it now with 10 minutes to go. Not worth your money. But, yeah, that's where I'm watching it. That's where I'm keeping across it. 10 minutes to go. 10 minutes of normal time. That is, of course. Referee Sultan Saleh has the ball in his hands at the moment. He's going to drop it to Karl Hein, who will get us back underway. It's just gone a little bit flat, hasn't it? I thought that with Milan scoring, it might have picked up a bit again. Like, I thought it might have got a little bit frantic, but you know, this is where you want to see Arsenal manage a game and see a game out and just slow things down and take the sting out of their opponent. Ball forward up towards Marquinhos. It comes straight back, and Lino Sosa, who's come on as a substitute to replace Kieran Tierney, is involved. Arsenal made a couple of other changes as well. I think that's Cozier Dubry on. I'll give you confirmation of that in a moment because we haven't had any. But yeah, I think that's Cozier Dubry. As Milan whip a ball into the box. Easy catch for Karl Hein. Claudius says, "Hey Harry, what did you make of ranks of Milan?" I'll be honest, he hasn't really stood out to me today. Is it because I don't know, he wasn't on my radar going into the game maybe? I don't know. I'm sure he's a decent enough young player. He wouldn't be playing for Milan if he wasn't, but yeah. Nothing really jumps out at me from this one, from this 90 minutes, 82 minutes that we've had so far in isolation. Holding has it at centre-back for the Gunners. Forward ball up to Marquinhos. Lovely ball around the corner. Helps it on to Martin Odegaard and then proceeds to make a run inside. Can Odegaard work the ball back in field? He's got a couple of Milan players for company. He thought he'd won Arsenal a throw-in, but he isn't even going to get that in the end. And Tomori, who brought him down, fairly or unfairly, is going to help Martin Odegaard up. But Odegaard doesn't want any of it. Doesn't want to have it. I love seeing that bit of edge, especially in players that you don't associate with having it. So like Martin Odegaard, when you hear him speak, he's very well spoken, a very polite lad. And you think, oh, you know, he's a good guy, whatever. But he clearly does have that very competitive side that can spill over into like a bit of a hostility at times as well. Conga. Moss says, is the December 26th game at the Hammers? No, it's at Emirates. It's at Emirates Stadium, mate. Which is great. Get to go football on Boxing Day. I'm at 2 football matches this Boxing Day. I haven't told the wife yet. God help me when I do. But yeah, needs must. Work is work. Work comes first. .84 minutes gone. Holding. Chip ball out to the right. Can Marquinhos bring this down? He does. And goes back to Cedric. Lets it run across his body. Holding again. Driven ball out to the left flank. Offside flag has gone up there. Against the Arsenal youngster. Here is Milan fullback on that left-hand side, just trying to make something happen. Apologies, the game's just gone a little bit dead, isn't it? It's gone a little bit dull. You get these periods in a lot of matches, especially friendly matches. Arsenal do have a player down, Marquinhos, after he was involved in a coming together. Tomori being told to just chill it a little bit because Marquinhos was involved in a challenge with one of the Milan players, and he pulled the guy down, and it was a foul, and it was given to Milan. But overcame Fikayo Tomori, and he just gave Marquinhos a little shove, and he just went over to kind of knock him off the ball and sort of, yeah, just bumped into him, put him down on the ground. It was Unnecessary from Tomori. Was it as big a deal as Marquinhos made it out to be? Probably not. But that just led to a small altercation as Gabriel and a couple of others came sprinting over to the defence of their colleague and teammate Marquinhos. Spoke about it being good to see that little bit of aggression. It's also good to see the unity and the togetherness of the group as well. It reminds me of, obviously this was nowhere near as severe, but do you remember when we obviously played at Old Trafford at the start of our unbeaten run and Martin Keown went absolutely batshit crazy on Ruud van Nistelrooy, and then everybody else got involved as well. A lot of Arsenal fans asked me about that, or a lot of people asked me about that, and I always say that was one of my proudest moments as an Arsenal fan. Not because, you know, shithousery comes before great football, not because, you know, you want to be horrible bastards, basically, but because, for me, the fact that everybody reacted like that to Ruud van Nistelrooy following him getting Patrick Vieira sent off and obviously winning a penalty that really never was a penalty, so conning the referee essentially, because of all that, to see everybody sort of really stick together and pull together, that was when I thought, wow, you know, this team, it can compete. It's brilliant on the pitch. There's brilliant players. There's so much technical ability within the ranks, but there's also a steel and a hardness and a togetherness and a unity that would stand them in really good stead as the competition sort of came their way and as they look to continue developing and pushing forward. So, yeah, you know, that is a good thing as well, I think. As Tata Rashanu chips the ball out to his left back. That's a heavy touch. Cedric will win it. Now Marquinhos has to step inside his man. It didn't result in anything of note, but Arsenal do have a throw-in on that right-hand side, which Cedric Suarez is going to take. Cedric still has the ball in his hands, by the way. Yet to release it, does so in the end. Into the box it goes and clear. And now the ball is back with Carl Hein in the Arsenal goal. Just before we finish up on the 90 minutes, because we've got around about 2 of them remaining. If I could ask you one more time, if you haven't done so already, please leave a like on the video, subscribe to the channel if you are new. We are going to take you through, of course, the penalty shootout that is to follow here this afternoon as well. What a load of nonsense. You win a game of football and you've got to take a penalty shootout. I mean, it's all about the entertainment, isn't it, for the paying clients, paying customers. That's almost a mix-up at the back. Carl Hein had to really react quickly because that was a really poor pass back to him. Eddie Nketiah is no longer on the pitch, by the way. For the Gunners. He's been substituted. Kaya Kainak reported earlier on that when Tonali collided with Vieira, Martin Odegaard came over and yelled to Stefano Pioli, "That's effing 2 times, it's a friendly." Says the Arsenal skipper has been sticking up for his teammates. Nwaneri and Smith are about to come on for Arsenal. Martin Odegaard is going to be the first to make way. Smith has had some loan spells at other clubs and is the more experienced of the young group. Some of you asking about injuries picked up today, about how certain players are in terms of their fitness. And the truth is, I don't know. The truth is, I don't know. They've been taken off. Obviously, Gabriel, there's a bit of a fear around that one, based on what I can see on social media. I didn't see anything too alarming, to be honest. And yeah, but people are obviously wanting to know about that, and the truth is I don't know. There are going to be 7 minutes of added time. For God's sake, do we really need 7 minutes more of this? Friendlies are dull, friendlies are boring. It's how it goes. There was an effort there from Sandro Tonali that was just wide of Karl Heinz post. My son is standing in my garden waving at me, almost half worried that he's going to run in here and make a nuisance of himself. Nope, he's decided to go back in the house. What the hell he's doing out in the snow, I don't know. He loves it. Kids love it. Kids love it. I hate it. Like, for me, it's the worst thing in the world. What is the point in it? You know, to my kids, it's a new toy. They were playing with it yesterday. They were loving it. They were building snowmen, God knows what. But for me, it's just an inconvenience. Just a pain in the arse is what it is. And it's as simple as that. Matt says, friendly, Harry, this is the Dubai Super Cup. Show some respect. Yeah, you're right. How dare I? How dare I? Look, I'm not concerned about any serious injuries from this game. I can see a few of you in the chat talking about it. I don't think there's any injuries. I think there's a few people maybe suffering from cramp, possibly. You've got to remember that a lot of the players that have now gone off played a lot more minutes today than they did in the game against Lyon. And, yeah, so no major concerns from me. If we get any further information afterwards, we'll obviously talk about that and process that and discuss what it means. But right now, yeah, right now I'm not concerned, not worried. Moss says, we don't do snowmen here in Canada. We do snow forts, snow castles, because there's too much of it. That would be cool. That would be cool. But it's just the inconvenience, man. I had to go to pick up a relative earlier today who lives 7 minutes down the road, if that. And it took me 20 minutes to clean the snow off of my windscreen. And then probably another 15 minutes to shovel away some of the snow that was in front of my driveway that was preventing me getting the car out. And then 10 minutes for the car to bloody de-ice the layer underneath the snow. It's just such a bloody inconvenience. I don't know why people like it. People posting pictures of their gardens and saying, oh, beautiful. Yeah, it's beautiful to look at for a few minutes until the novelty wears off, and then it just causes you endless problems. Anyway, I digress. Grinch Harry, Moody Harry, Scrooge Harry is not having it. But, yeah, back to the game. Got a few minutes remaining. We've had 3 of the 7 added, and Milan have a corner on that far side. It's their 7th of the game. In it comes. Karl Heinz gathers confidently on the edge of his 6-yard box. That's what you want to see from your goalkeeper. Can I just be cheeky and give one more push for likes? Because we're 19 away from 250. That would be really something, wouldn't it? If we could get there. So if you're new to the stream, if you've just joined us and you haven't hit the like button already, then please do. Please do. It really, really does help. It helps with the YouTube algorithm. It helps get the video out in front of more people. It helps push the channel and the video in isolation's rankings up the list. So I'll push them up the rankings, I should say. Yeah, please do, if you haven't done so already. Someone asked me earlier, why do I ask so many times? Well, it works, because when I do, there's a clear upturn. So yeah. I'm just looking at a comment, right, on the stream I did yesterday. Oh, Milan going close. Ball across the penalty area, cleared away. Anyway, just quickly, I was looking at a comment earlier on from the stream I did yesterday. So if you did see it, you'd have seen that right at the start I said, look, there's some works going on next door. And, you know, it's always sod's law that they're quiet, they're not doing anything loud until you sit down to stream. And I said, apologies if you can hear anything. I've listened to it back and I couldn't hear anything, which is great. But I obviously just wanted to put that out there before someone started saying, oh, what's that noise in the background? Someone said, why would you do a stream during the works next door? Should you not have looked for a new location? I can't just pick up the studio and move it every time there's a bit of noise outside. Oh man, I'd love to be able to do that, but I can't. It's too much stuff, too much to move, too many wires to plug in, too much headache, too much hassle. You will see the odd impromptu stream from random places. You know, you will get that with me, with my sort of headphones plugged in. But yeah, you're not going to get me uprooting everything and moving at tremendous distances. Not going to happen. Here is Ethan Nwaneri looking for the run of Kozia Dubry up front. The Milan defender Tomori steps across the ball and just allows it to run through to the goalkeeper. James says, Harry, I hate the snow because I have to shovel my driveway and walkway. My kids love it as well. Yeah, I understand kids loving it. Just for me, it's just a pain in the arse. Matt says, just move house, Harry. What's wrong with you? It's simple. You're right. Why didn't I think of that? Half a minute remaining of this match here in the Al Maktoum Stadium, Dubai Super Cup. It's currently Arsenal 2, Milan 1, but Milan are pushing, looking for this equaliser. Will they get it in the last 15 or so seconds of the 7 minutes of added time? We got to the 250 likes, so thank you guys so much. Long throw into the box. Arsenal having to defend here. Holding gets something on it. Like a Milan player did too, because it then goes behind and it will be an Arsenal goal kick. Is that it? Yes, it is. The full-time whistle has gone. It's back-to-back wins for Arsenal in the Dubai Super Cup. And up next is the penalty shootout for the chance to win an additional point. Arsenal 2, Milan 1. Reece Nelson and Martin Odegaard the scorers. Fikayo Tomori pulling one back for Milan. We go to penalties. We are going to take a very short pause and we'll be back for the shootout. So don't go anywhere. Get involved in the comments, like the stream, subscribe to the channel if you're new. I just need a quick moment just to grab a bit of water, a bit of a sore throat, and I'll be with you. Let me give you the stats quickly, actually. 54% possession for Arsenal, 9 shots in comparison to Milan's 10, 2 on target apiece. Arsenal had 3 corners, Milan had 7, 1 offside for the Gunners, 4 for Milan. Arsenal had 2 yellow cards, Milan 0. Those are the stats. Let me pause for just a moment. Don't go anywhere. Stay exactly where we are. And we'll be back for the shootout in just a mo. Okay, the penalty shootout is nearly upon us in the Al Maktoum Stadium. Welcome back to our live watch-along of Arsenal versus Milan in the Dubai Super Cup. Of course, this game goes to penalties regardless of the outcome, regardless of the result, because, well, it's just the way the competition works. They make it up as they go along and they do what they please. Yeah, I guess it's there to try and add a little bit more entertainment in the event that the game is a bit of a non-event. But yeah, it's been an okay game for a friendly. Big hello to Ian, who says, guys, it's my 49th birthday today. Happy birthday to you, my friend. Wishing you all the best, and thanks for being with us on your special day. It's Arsenal who are going to take the first penalty. Tatarusanu will face it, the Milan goalkeeper. He and Karl Hein receiving their instructions from the referee, who is, of course, today Sultan Saleh. Cedric Suarez is going to take the first penalty of the shootout, and he'll face, as I say, Tatarusanu. Oh, happy birthday to Matt G as well. I just saw that. Matt, happy birthday, mate. One of our most loyal listeners. Great to know it's your special day. I didn't know. Apologies. I would have wished you a happy birthday earlier. Happy birthday, mate. All the best. As Cedric prepares to take this penalty kick for the Gunners. He's going to approach it right-footed. Cedric Suarez. Oh, beautiful penalty. Sends Tatarusanu the wrong way. Just puts it pretty much down the middle. It was high and it was unsavable, really, given that he'd given Tatarusanu the eyes. Really confident penalty from Cedric to put Arsenal in front in the shootout. Loads of you with us live at the moment for this shootout. Arsenal against Milan. Yes, you're reading it right. Arsenal won a game, but they're expected to take part in a shootout. Don't forget to leave a like if you're new. Try and get up to 300 likes before the end of the stream. It really, really does help. Like. Subscribe if you haven't done so already. Karl Hein faces this penalty. Not sure who it is because the pictures haven't shown me him yet. Up steps the Milan man, and it's into the top corner. Really good penalty. Karl Hein went the right way, but he wasn't saving that. Really good spot kick, that. Left-footed. I think he sort of made it quite obvious where he was going to put the ball, but such was the quality of the penalty kick that Karl Hein, even going the right way, just had very little chance of saving it. Gabriel, the central defender, steps up now. He'll take Arsenal's second penalty. The Brazilian approaches this. His run-up looks pretty straight. No, he's going to angle it at the last minute. Gabriel sends the keeper the wrong way. Bottom right-hand corner. Fantastic penalty from the centre-back. Really well taken. Sent Tatarusanu the wrong way, just as Cedric Suarez did in the penalty kick prior, or for the penalty kick prior. Are you watching Brazil, says Moss. Brahim Diaz will take this. Can he make it 2-2? Diaz saved by Karl Hein down to his right. Arsenal are in front in the shootout. Cedric Suarez scored the first one. Gabriel got the second. And Karl Hein saves from Brahim Diaz of Milan, who tried to give Karl Hein the eyes and send him the wrong way, but Karl Hein read it beautifully. And once he guessed the right way, he was always going to keep that out. Disappointing penalty from Brahim Diaz, but Arsenal will be delighted. Karl Hein will be delighted, who's given a very good account of himself at this competition so far. Marquinhos up next for Arsenal, left-footed again. Second successive left-footer for the Gunners. Marquinhos, bottom right-hand corner. Tatarusanu guessing the right way, but couldn't get anywhere near it. Such was the quality of Marquinhos' penalty. Really, really good stuff. Confident. Knew what he wanted to do and just went out there and did it. Sandro Tonali, the Milan captain, is up next. Kalhine moving from left to right on his goal line, trying to put Tonali off. Up steps Sandro Tonali, slow run up, and Kalhine nearly kept it out, but Tonali found the bottom right-hand corner to score for Milan. Kalhine guessing the right way again. He seems to have a really good ability to read takers in terms of their direction and their intention, at least. You won't get to all of them. If the penalty's good enough as a goalkeeper, you never should. But Kalhine guessing the right way is something that clearly, you know, is a feature of his game. So it's a 3-2 to Arsenal. Arsenal have taken 3 penalties. Milan have taken 3-2. And this is the Gunners' fourth, and it's going to be the Egyptian Mohamed El Neni, right-footed, of course. Can he beat Tatarusanu in the Milan goal? El Neni, top right-hand corner. Tatarusanu goes the wrong way again. Never in doubt from the Egyptian Pirlo. Brilliantly taken spot kick that from Mohamed El Neni. Guys, if we could get 12 more likes on the board, we'll hit 300 before the shootout ends. That would be bloody amazing. Please like the video, subscribe to the channel if you're new. Thank you in advance. Milan need to score here, otherwise Arsenal win the shootout. Lazatic steps up for Milan. Right-footed. Panenka down the middle, brilliantly executed. That's a proper Panenka, that is. Far better than anything we saw in that dreadful shootout between Arsenal and Lyon at the back end of last week. That's a real Panenka from Lazatic. Balls of steel. Incredible confidence. Fantastic penalty. There was so little pace on the ball as well. It was unbelievable. Wow, I said, can we get to 300 likes? We got 327. Amazing. 329. Amazing stuff. Thank you all so much. Matt Smith steps up for the Gunners. And if Matt Smith scores, Arsenal win the shootout. Matt Smith to win it for Arsenal, give them the extra point in the Dubai Super Cup. Along with the 3 for the win, and it's saved by Tatarusanu. He went bottom left, Matt Smith. Tatarusanu read it. It wasn't in the corner. It didn't have an awful lot of pace on it. And it was a comfortable stop for Tatarusanu down to his right-hand side. Smith denied by the Milan goalkeeper. And so Milan have a chance to level it. But if Kalhine saves this, Arsenal win regardless. Krunic for Milan. Up against Kalhine. Right-footed Krunic. It's wide and Arsenal win the shootout. Arsenal gain an extra point on top of the 3 picked up for the win in normal time. It finished Arsenal 2, Milan 1. Goals from Reiss Nelson. Goals from Martin Odegaard. Tomori pulled one back, but Arsenal win 4-3 in the shootout. And the Gunners secure an additional point. Do Arsenal win the tournament now? Have Arsenal won the Dubai Super Cup? I'm not sure what the result was in the other game last week, because that's how little I care about whether Arsenal win it or not. But Arsenal have taken a maximum of 8 points. Dubai Super Cup winners, you'll never sing that. Fantastic stuff. Thank you. Thank you all so much for joining me. Thank you all so much for being with me throughout the duration of the broadcast. It's been amazing. It's been great fun. Great to have so many of you with us as well. Please do leave a like on your way out. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't done so already. Ray Anderson says, yes, Harry, we've won it. Brilliant. Runs with Cows says, right, that's it now. I'll get the tattoo. Yeah, you know what? I might get a tattoo on my arm as well of the Dubai Super Cup. How about that? That'd be tin pot, wouldn't it? Guys, thank you all so much. Really, really appreciate you coming on. appreciate you being with me throughout the duration of the game. As I say, for those of you that are not sick of me, we'll be live in about 20 minutes time reacting to the game. There it is, confirmation of the table. Arsenal 8 points, Olympique Lyonnais on 4, Liverpool, Milan, they can't, despite having another game, they can't catch us. So we've done it. Dubai Super Cup winners. You'll never win that. You'll never sing that, I should say. Anyway, thank you all so much. We're going to be back on at around about 4:30 on the YouTube channel and podcast, reacting to the game. Actually, you know what? We'll do 4:45. Need a bit of a breather. But yeah, come and join me for that if you're not sick of me already. Yeah, until next time, all the best. Take care, guys. Thank you so much for your continued support, as always. All the best. See ya.